Hello and welcome to Seniors Life Health. I'm Dr. Adam Carter, and it's a pleasure to have you with me today. In our journey together towards vibrant health in our golden years, we often focus on the big things, our exercise routines, our medications, our major dietary choices. But sometimes the smallest habits, the ones we perform without a second thought, can have the most profound impact on our well-being. Today we're going to talk about a food that millions of us, myself included, enjoy as a cornerstone of a healthy diet: yogurt. It's praised for its probiotics, its calcium, and its protein. We open a cup each morning, believing we're doing something wonderful for our bodies, and in many ways we are. However, new insights into nutrition and food safety have revealed that how we eat our yogurt is just as important as the fact that we're eating it at all. The truth is, a few simple hidden mistakes can unknowingly undermine the very benefits we're seeking. These common errors can affect everything from our gut health and immune system to our heart and blood sugar levels. But please, don't be alarmed. This isn't about scaring you away from this wonderful food. Quite the opposite. My goal today is to empower you with knowledge. We're going to walk through 6 common mistakes associated with eating yogurt. By understanding them, we can make simple adjustments that ensure every spoonful is as beneficial as possible. Think of this as a tune-up for your health routine, ensuring you get the maximum reward for your efforts. I encourage you to stay with me through all 6 points, because the second one in particular touches upon a critical safety issue that could have serious consequences, especially for those of us with more mature immune systems. Before we begin, I'd love to hear from you. It's always a joy to connect with our community. Could you take a moment to leave a comment below, letting us know where you're watching from and how often yogurt is a part of your weekly routine? I truly enjoy reading your comments and learning from your experiences. All right, let's dive in and explore how we can make our healthy yogurt habit even healthier. Here is the first common mistake that many people are making every single day. This first point may seem perfectly harmless, but it's a classic case of good intentions leading to a less than ideal outcome. We often mix things into our yogurt to add flavor and texture, a handful of berries, a squeeze of lemon perhaps. But this simple act can sometimes create a biochemical conflict in your digestive system. The magic of yogurt lies in its live and active cultures, those beneficial bacteria we call probiotics. These tiny organisms are the key to a healthy gut, a strong immune system, and so much more. However, they are also quite delicate. When you combine yogurt with highly acidic foods, you can inadvertently harm these precious probiotics. Think of citrus fruits like oranges, grapefruits, or even very tart strawberries and pineapples. The high acid content in these fruits can begin to break down the probiotics' protective structures before they even have a chance to reach your intestines, where they do their essential work. Research published in the Journal of Dairy Science has shown that mixing yogurt with highly acidic fruits can significantly reduce the viable probiotic count by as much as 85% within just a few minutes. This means you could be losing out on the primary health benefit of your yogurt without even realizing it. It's not just about acid, though. Temperature can be just as disruptive. Let's say you enjoy a cup of hot coffee or tea with your breakfast and you eat your yogurt alongside it. The sudden temperature shock from a hot beverage can also be lethal to these sensitive probiotic cultures. Furthermore, this extreme heat can cause the proteins in yogurt to denature or change their shape. For some individuals, this alteration can form compounds that the body may recognize as foreign, potentially triggering mild digestive discomfort, or in more sensitive people, an inflammatory response. So what's the solution? It's wonderfully simple. If you wish to add fruit, opt for those with a more neutral pH. Bananas, ripe blueberries, cantaloupe, and pears are all excellent choices that pair beautifully with yogurt, without waging war on its probiotic content. And if you enjoy a hot drink in the morning, consider this simple timing adjustment. Wait about 30 minutes after finishing your coffee or tea before you have your yogurt. This allows your mouth and digestive tract to return to a normal temperature, creating a much safer passage for the probiotics. For the absolute best results, consider enjoying your yogurt on its own as a snack between meals. Mid-morning or mid-afternoon is often ideal, as your stomach acid is typically at its lowest. This gives the beneficial bacteria the best possible chance of survival and absorption, potentially tripling the probiotic benefits you receive. To enhance this effect, Try stirring in a small spoonful of raw honey or a sprinkle of chicory root fiber. These are prebiotics. They act as food for the good bacteria, helping them to flourish and multiply in your gut, creating a powerful symbiotic effect that amplifies the overall health benefits. This next point is about safety, and it's a crucial one for all of us, especially as we age. We're all familiar with the use-by, or best before date printed on our yogurt containers. Many people see this date as a strict deadline. But the truth about yogurt's freshness is a bit more nuanced, and misunderstanding it can lead to unnecessary risks. That printed date is the manufacturer's guarantee of peak quality. However, the real safety countdown begins the moment you break the seal and open the container. Once exposed to the air, your yogurt is introduced to a new environment of microbes, and a clock starts ticking that has nothing to do with the date on the lid. Even in the clean environment of your refrigerator, yogurt can become a breeding ground for harmful pathogens if left open for too long. One of the primary concerns is a bacteria called Listeria monocytogenes. This is a particularly resilient bacterium that can grow even at refrigerated temperatures. While a Listeria infection might cause mild illness in a younger person, it can be quite serious for older adults or anyone with a compromised immune system, leading to severe complications. According to food microbiologists at Cornell University, once a yogurt container is opened, you enter a new, shorter safety window. Harmful bacteria, if introduced, can begin to colonize within 5 to 7 days. They multiply through a process called logarithmic growth, which is a scientific way of saying they grow incredibly fast. Under the right conditions, a small number of bacteria can multiply by 10,000 times in just 48 hours. The most concerning part is that yogurt contaminated with these harmful bacteria often looks, smells, and tastes perfectly normal. Unlike common spoilage, which produces visible mold or a sour odor, pathogenic bacteria can be completely undetectable to our senses. This is why people can get sick from yogurt that seemed perfectly fine to eat. So what is a safe window for consumption? A good rule of thumb is to finish an open container of regular yogurt within 5 days. For Greek yogurt, which is slightly less acidic and therefore has less natural protection, it's best to consume it within 3 days of opening. To maximize freshness and safety, always store your yogurt on a lower shelf in the main body of your refrigerator, not in the door. The temperature in the door fluctuates every time you open it, which can accelerate spoilage. And here's a critical habit. Always use a clean spoon, every single time. Dipping a used spoon back into the container introduces millions of bacteria from your mouth, which can cut that safe consumption window in half. A practical strategy is to purchase smaller containers that you know you can finish within a few days, rather than large tubs that might sit open for a week or more. If you ever notice any changes, if the yogurt looks more watery than usual, if its texture has thickened strangely, or if you detect even a hint of an unusual smell beyond the normal tangy aroma, err on the side of caution and discard it. The cost of a new yogurt is insignificant compared to the potential misery of a foodborne illness. Now, this next mistake is one that most of us have never even considered. We trust that the packaging our food comes in is safe, but groundbreaking research is revealing that the material of your yogurt container could be subtly affecting your health over time. A study published in the journal Environmental Health Perspectives highlighted a significant concern. Certain types of plastic packaging can leach hormone-disrupting chemicals directly into the food they contain. The acidic nature of yogurt, it turns out, can accelerate this process, causing these chemicals to migrate from the plastic into your yogurt at rates much higher than previously thought. The plastics of greatest concern are those marked with recycling codes 3 PVC, 6 polystyrene, or 7 other, which can include polycarbonates containing BPA. When yogurt is stored in these containers, compounds like phthalates and styrene can be released. Long-term exposure to these chemicals has been linked in scientific studies to a range of health issues, including hormonal imbalances, reproductive problems, and an increased risk for certain types of cancer. This chemical leaching process is made worse by two common factors: time and temperature changes. The longer the yogurt sits in the container, the more time chemicals have to migrate. and every time you take the container out of the fridge, let it sit on the counter for a few minutes and then put it back. The temperature cycle can accelerate the breakdown of the plastic. So what is the safest choice? Without a doubt, glass is the gold standard for food storage. It's completely inert, meaning it will not react with your food or leach any chemicals, no matter how long it's stored. While it's still rare to find commercial yogurts in glass, it's the best option if you can find it or if you make your own yogurt at home. When buying yogurt in plastic, your safest bet is to look for containers made from polypropylene, which is marked with the recycling code 5. This is a much more stable plastic and is widely considered the safest for food storage. High-density polyethylene, or code 2 HDPE, is also a very safe option. A proactive habit many health-conscious people are adopting is to transfer their yogurt from its original plastic container into a glass mason jar or a food-grade stainless steel container as soon as they get home from the store. It may seem like a small extra step, but it completely eliminates the risk of chemical contamination and gives you peace of mind. Furthermore, never microwave yogurt in its plastic container, and try to minimize the time it spends at room temperature. Heat dramatically speeds up chemical leaching by up to 55 times according to some tests. Always check the bottom of the container for that little recycling number before you buy. It's a small detail that can make a big difference to your long-term health. The best practice is to choose brands that actively advertise their packaging as BPA-free and phthalate-free. Or better yet, to try making your own yogurt at home in glass jars. You gain complete control over the ingredients and the storage, ensuring the purest product possible. This next point is incredibly important, especially for those of us who are mindful of our blood sugar and overall metabolic health. That strawberry, vanilla, or peach-flavored yogurt might look like a healthy and convenient choice, but in many cases, it's nothing more than a dessert in disguise. A single serving of some flavored yogurts can contain up to 30 grams of added sugar. To put that in perspective, that's about 7 teaspoons of sugar, more than you'd find in a chocolate-glazed donut. This massive sugar load effectively cancels out many of the health benefits you're hoping to achieve. When manufacturers create these flavors, they aren't just stirring in a bit of fruit. The ingredients list often reveals a cocktail of high-fructose corn syrup, artificial flavorings, chemical thickeners, and preservatives. This transforms a wholesome, natural food into a highly processed product that can send your blood sugar soaring. A major study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association drew a concerning link between daily consumption of sugar-sweetened foods and an increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes. For seniors, managing blood sugar is paramount for heart health, cognitive function, and overall vitality. The sugar in these yogurts feeds the harmful bacteria in your gut, while simultaneously creating an environment where the beneficial probiotics struggle to survive. It creates the very inflammation and imbalance that we eat yogurt to combat. To make matters worse, many light or low-calorie flavored yogurts use artificial sweeteners like aspartame or sucralose. While they don't contain calories, research published in the prestigious journal Nature has shown that these chemicals can be even more destructive to our beneficial gut bacteria than sugar. They can disrupt the delicate balance of our microbiome, which can, paradoxically, lead to glucose intolerance and weight gain over time. The food industry has become very skilled at marketing. They use terms like fruit on the bottom or naturally flavored to give an impression of health. But these are often just marketing phrases that obscure the reality of what you're eating. The solution, once again, is beautifully simple. Always choose plain, unsweetened yogurt. This gives you a clean slate. Then, you become the chef. You can add your own natural flavorings at home. Stir in a handful of fresh berries, a spoonful of unsweetened applesauce, a dash of pure vanilla extract, or a sprinkle of cinnamon. If you need a touch of sweetness, a small drizzle of raw honey or pure maple syrup gives you complete control over the sugar content. When you make this change, something remarkable happens. After a few weeks, your taste buds will adjust. You'll begin to appreciate the naturally tangy, creamy flavor of real yogurt, and if you try a flavored yogurt again, you'll likely find it overwhelmingly sweet. By making this one simple switch, you can reduce your sugar intake by up to 75% per serving, and get 10 times the probiotic benefit, leading to better digestion, more stable energy levels, and improved metabolic health. This brings us to one of the most critical safety issues we'll discuss today. It's about a concept that food safety experts call the cold chain. Understanding and respecting this concept can protect you from becoming one of the 48 million Americans who suffer from foodborne illness each year. The cold chain is the unbroken process of keeping yogurt consistently chilled below 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 degrees Celsius from the factory all the way to your spoon. If this chain is broken, even for a short period, it can trigger a dangerous explosion of bacterial growth. Here is the science that every senior should understand. At room temperature, the bacteria that cause food poisoning can double in number every 20 minutes. This means that if you leave your yogurt on the kitchen counter for just 2 hours, perhaps while you re-preparing and eating a leisurely breakfast, the bacterial count could have multiplied by over 4,000 times. Even more alarmingly, many of these bacteria produce heat-resistant toxins, so even if you put the yogurt back in the refrigerator, the toxins remain and can still make you very sick. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, reports that temperature abuse of dairy products is a leading cause of foodborne illness, responsible for thousands of hospitalizations each year. The symptoms can be severe, from dehydration and debilitating digestive distress to kidney failure in extreme cases. For older adults, children, and anyone with a weaker immune system, the consequences can be life-threatening. The danger zone begins long before you get home. It starts the moment you place the yogurt in your shopping cart. It might sit there for 30 minutes as you finish your shopping, then another 20 minutes in a warm car on the ride home. During this time, the yogurt AS temperature can easily climb into the danger zone, above 40 degrees Fahrenheit, where pathogenic bacteria like E. coli, Salmonella, and Campylobacter thrive. Here is a safe protocol to follow. Make the dairy aisle your last stop at the grocery store. Shop for yogurt and milk immediately before heading to the checkout. It's a wise investment to bring an insulated cooler bag with an ice pack for transporting refrigerated items home, especially on warmer days. Once you are home, your goal should be to never let the yogurt sit at room temperature for more than 15 minutes in total. This means eating it promptly and returning the container to the fridge immediately. Don't leave the tub on the breakfast table. Finally, take a moment to check your refrigerator's temperature. Many studies have shown that a large percentage of home refrigerators are unknowingly set too warm. You can buy an inexpensive refrigerator thermometer at any hardware store. Ensure it's set to 40 degrees Fahrenheit or slightly below. This simple check is one of the most effective things you can do to protect yourself. The most important rule, followed religiously by food safety experts, is this. If your yogurt has been left at room temperature for more than an hour in total, it is no longer safe. Please throw it away. No amount of health benefit is worth the severe risk of food poisoning. We've now arrived at the single most dangerous mistake, and it is also the most common. It's an innocent, almost unconscious habit that a study from the International Journal of Food Microbiology found that over 90% of people do. It's the simple act of double dipping. Double dipping is when you take a bite of yogurt from a spoon and then use that same spoon to scoop more from the container. When you do this, you are introducing a huge number of bacteria from your mouth directly into the yogurt. Our mouths are home to over 700 species of bacteria. When these oral bacteria, like Streptococcus mutans, are transferred into the nutrient-rich environment of yogurt, they don't just survive, they flourish. They multiply at an astonishing rate, creating what are known as biofilms. These are protective shields that allow the bacteria to thrive and produce toxins, even in the cold acidic environment of refrigerated yogurt. The data from research is truly sobering. Within just 2 days, yogurt contaminated by double dipping can contain bacterial loads up to 10 million colony-forming units per gram. That is 1,000 times higher than the level that food safety standards consider dangerous. And these bacteria can include antibiotic-resistant strains, making any resulting infection incredibly difficult to treat. The risk of cross-contamination is just as serious. This happens when you use the same utensil for different foods without washing it. For example, using a knife to spread peanut butter and then dipping it into the yogurt container. This can introduce new food particles and potential pathogens, like Salmonella from raw eggs if you were tasting cookie dough, or E. coli from unwashed fruit. Children are particularly vulnerable because their immune systems are still developing. There have been documented medical cases where children have developed life-threatening sepsis, a severe blood infection, from eating yogurt that was contaminated by sharing and double dipping. One such case in Michigan required a child to spend 3 weeks in intensive care, all from what began as a seemingly harmless shared snack. The only completely safe practice is to always use a clean utensil every single time you serve yogurt from a container. Never eat directly from the tub unless you intend to finish the entire thing in one sitting. If you're sharing with family, especially grandchildren, portion the yogurt into individual bowls first. The few seconds of convenience saved by double dipping is never worth the risk of severe illness. An excellent system is to portion out your yogurt into smaller single-serving glass containers as soon as you get it home from the store. This not only eliminates the risk of cross-contamination entirely, but also helps with portion control and makes it easy to grab a healthy snack on the go. Your health is your most precious asset, and it's too important to leave to chance. By understanding these 6 simple, common mistakes, you are now empowered to enjoy your yogurt in the safest, most beneficial way possible. You haven't been doing anything wrong. You were simply doing what most of us do. But now you have a deeper understanding. You can now combine your yogurt with the right foods, be mindful of its freshness, choose safer containers, opt for plain over flavored, protect the cold chain, and practice safe serving habits. These small changes will ensure that every spoonful of yogurt you eat is truly contributing to your vitality and well-being. If this video has opened your eyes to something new and valuable, I would be so grateful if you would hit that subscribe button and join our Seniors Life Health community. I share new life-enhancing health information every week, specifically designed to help you live your best life in the years ahead. Thank you so much for investing this time in your health today. Stay healthy, stay informed, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.